You won't believe what Keith Urban had to survive to become a music legend. Most people see the lights, the fame, the flawless performances, and they think they know the whole story. But what if I told you the man behind the guitar, the voice that fills arenas, has walked through fire, literally and emotionally, to get where he is? This isn't just another celebrity success tale. It's a raw, emotional roller coaster of heartbreak, addiction, redemption, and one unshakable truth: Keith Urban is not just a country star. He's a survivor. And once you hear what he's really been through, you'll never hear his music the same way again. Long before the awards, the sold-out tours, and the fairy tale romance with a Hollywood icon, Keith Urban was just a boy, small, sensitive, and surrounded by chaos. Born in New Zealand on October 26, 1967, and raised in Australia, Keith spent his early years constantly moving, never quite feeling like he belonged. When he was only 9, tragedy struck. His family's home burned to the ground. Everything, gone in an instant. Clothes, keepsakes, childhood memories, all turned to ash. But the real fire? It was inside the house, not outside. Behind closed doors, Keith faced another kind of storm. His father, Robert Bob Urban, was a man torn between love for music and battles with alcohol. One moment he'd be playing country records, and the next, yelling or worse. "I don't remember him ever telling me he loved me," Keith once said. And those words? They cut deep. Imagine being a kid, desperate for affection, and getting silence, or violence, in return. But even in that darkness, there were glimmers of hope. One day, his dad put up a sign in his shop window looking for a guitar teacher for his son. That one small act changed everything. It led to Sue McCarthy, Keith's first mentor. By age 4, he was strumming a ukulele. By 6, the guitar was his armor. Music didn't just entertain him. It saved him. It gave him a voice when his world was full of silence. As a teen, Keith was already performing in rough pubs across Australia, playing late into the night while his parents drove him from gig to gig. It wasn't glamorous, it was survival. He played through pain, through confusion, through loneliness. But every note was a lifeline. "Music gave me somewhere to go," he once said. "In that place? It felt like home." But talent alone wasn't enough. Even after early TV appearances and local awards, his career stalled. He wasn't fitting neatly into any box. His sound was too electric for country purists, too country for rock fans. Still, he pressed on. In 1992, with barely a plan, Keith took a leap of faith and moved to Nashville. No connections. No guarantees. Just a dream. Nashville didn't exactly roll out the red carpet. Doors slammed. Calls went unanswered. He played guitar in the background for other artists. Wrote songs no one knew he'd written. The band he formed, The Ranch, had promise but fizzled fast. "Maybe I'm not meant to do this," he admitted once. But he didn't quit. He couldn't. Music wasn't a career, it was his oxygen. Then finally, it happened. In 1999, after 7 years of grinding in Nashville, Keith Urban released his American debut. And with the hit "But for the Grace of God," he didn't just chart, he soared. It wasn't just success. It was a resurrection. All that pain, all that work, finally found a home in people's hearts. From there, his rise was electric. In 2002, Somebody Like You became the biggest country hit of the decade. Album after album, Be Here, Love, Pain and the Whole Crazy Thing, cemented his place as a powerhouse. He blended genres, reshaped country music, and pulled in fans from everywhere. But even at the top, the demons didn't disappear. Behind the scenes, Keith battled self-doubt, perfectionism, and the lingering shadows of addiction. Fame doesn't fix trauma. Sometimes, it magnifies it. And while the world celebrated his Grammy wins and packed stadiums, he was quietly unraveling. Then came the turning point. Her name? Nicole Kidman. They met in 2005 at a glitzy gala, but for Keith, nothing else in the room mattered. She saw past the fame and into his pain. He waited 4 months just to call her. Not out of disinterest, but fear. He didn't think he was enough. But she believed in him before he believed in himself. They married in 2006. And just 4 months later, Keith relapsed. But instead of walking away, Nicole leaned in. She staged an intervention, not with judgment, but love. That moment? It saved his life. He entered rehab at the Betty Ford Center, and this time, he wasn't doing it alone. He was fighting for love, for family, for a second chance. From there, his world changed. In 2008, their daughter Sunday Rose was born. In 2010, Faith Margaret arrived. Fatherhood grounded him. It wasn't about chasing hits anymore, it was about making breakfast, going for walks, reading bedtime stories. The stage was still part of him, but so was peace. Over the next decade, Keith found a rhythm that wasn't just about music, it was about balance. He continued to drop albums that reflected his growth and emotional clarity. His 2024 release, High, was rich with reflection and soul. Tracks like Straight Line and Go Home W, a duet with Lainey Wilson, proved he hadn't lost a step, he had gained depth. He still tours, still mentors young artists, still gives his all to the craft. But now, it's different. It's not about proving something. It's about expression, connection, healing. Financially, he's a powerhouse, an estimated net worth of $75 million. With Nicole, their combined wealth tops $250 million. But here's the thing, they live like people who know what real wealth is. Family. Simplicity. Peace. Their homes, from the 110-acre estate in rural Australia to their Sydney penthouse and New York mansion, aren't trophies. They're sanctuaries. Places to heal. Places to be real. And through it all, Keith Urban remains fiercely grounded. He doesn't drink. He doesn't indulge in the chaos of fame. He paints. He cooks. He meditates. He journals. He reflects. He shows up, fully and honestly, for his daughters, his wife, and himself. He gives back, too. In 2025, fans donated over 1,200 stuffed animals to children's hospitals in his honor. Why? Because he inspires generosity. Because his story makes people believe in comebacks, in love, in second chances. So here's the truth. Keith Urban isn't just a music legend. He's living proof that no matter how dark your past is, healing is possible. That you can rise, not in spite of your pain, but because of it. That the strongest melodies are born from the deepest wounds. And maybe, just maybe, the most beautiful song he ever wrote wasn't for radio. It was the life he built, with intention, with honesty, and with a heart that never gave up. If this story touched something inside you, if it made you see Keith Urban in a whole new light, don't scroll away. Hit that like button, subscribe, and share this with someone who needs to hear it. Because this isn't just about music. It's about rising. And Keith Urban? He didn't just rise. He soared.